First of all, Hanlun's speech will be divided into two. The first 10 minutes is about his speech, but you need not use the entire 10 minutes. You can speak 7 minutes and stop and leave the rest of the time. But for convenience sake, I divide into half. In this project, for Hanlun to speak about whatever he speaks, he has to have the credibility. So I'm setting the scene for him. This is about Hanlun introduction. Hanlun will like to share this exhilarating journey to the top of Malaysia, taking you on a thrilling adventure as he shares his personal experience of hiking to the summit of Mount KinaBalu. This majestic mountain, the tallest in Borneo, holds a special place in the hearts of Malaysians and adventure enthusiasts alike. Our speaker will inspire us to embrace the wonders of nature and embark on our own adventures. There will be a lot of mesmerizing pictures or videos for you to imagine the scenery on the top. What's best is there will be an open Q&A session at the end to address your urge to start hiking. Yeah, you have any question about hiking, pay attention. And then over to you, your topic is journey to the top. Oh, before that, I would like to emphasize that your evaluation is not on your speech. Your evaluation is on the Q&A, how you handle Q&A. So evaluator don't really pay too much attention on the speech. Over to you, Hanlun.
All right, thank you. Before I start, just to share something. All right, can you all see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, friends, kids, old folks, hikers, swimmers, whatever sport they are doing, I would like to challenge you one thing. Have you ever thought how it feels like when you wave or when you touch the cloud? What do you think what cloud is made out of? How do you think that when you touch the cloud, is it soft? Is it just like the mist just gone through, evaporate from your hand? Or is it something that you can get hold on? And that experience, I have finally feel it myself at the 27th of May 2023, where I went up to the Low Peak, which is the highest point of Mount KinaBalu. Standing there is my picture with the board certifying that me have gone up about 4,100 meters in height, about 8.4 kilometers in total of the trail to get up to this point and to see the cloud beneath my feet. And that is what I would like to share with you today about how adventure this trail is and how is the scene that I've been went through that will always leave a spot in my mind and even in my dream sometimes. So without further ado, let's just move on to some facts about Mount KinaBalu. Mount KinaBalu is regarded as the UNESCO World Heritage Site back in the year 2000, and it is regarded as the 20th most prominent mountain in the world. Together with him, there is Mount Everest, Mount Sendonjiang in China, or even more mountain that you have heard of. The total height of Low Peak above sea level is about 4,100 meters. And believe me, the oxygen level over there, you can vividly feel that it is so thin that every step you take would require a more slower pace, like how I talk now, and more breath if you take every single step. So if you have more questions about this, don't worry about it. I will have a Q&A session at the end to address more questions if you want to know more about what Mount KinaBalu. But the main topic that I would like to share today is about how I get up there and what you should prepare yourself if you ever want to do so one day. At the beginning of the trail, about 8 a.m. in the morning, you will have to get yourself to the Sabah Park. where you will see a pawn door, a house, a rest house, where the registration counter was, and you have to get your Sabah climbing permit, which is a white little thing that I shown in the lower picture. And that is the permit that allow you to go up to the mountain. Every single day, the park only address 135 permit for foreigners as well as Malaysian hikers to go up because of the limitation to ensure safety, to ensure adequate room at the rest house at Panabalan, as well as to address the most exciting and wonderful experience during your hike. So at the station as well, you will see a lot of porters starting to pack up their gears, starting to pack up themselves mentally prepared to go up to the top of the mountain. Just for your perspective as well, standing here is like about 100 to 200 meter above sea level. But what your destination you are going to go through in 1.5 days is somewhere here in the red spot where it's covered in cloud for now. And that is the journey that when you look at the peak that you are going through from the bottom. After you get the permit and everything, what you will be move on is to go to the Timpohon gate. Once you see this gate, basically you are starting the great hike. Beyond this gate, you will have to tell yourself there's no turning back. Although it may be more difficult as you go up and up, the thinner oxygen level it goes to. What we tell ourselves, what I tell my mom, what I tell my member is that we have to keep on going one step at a time, one step, one after another. And that's the only methodology that you should have in your mind, because after this, your muscle will be cramped, your leg will be so tired, you will feel exhausted, you will feel thirsty, whatsoever coming in, headache, sweat, and you climb like dogs, you name it. But what you should have in your mind is one step after another. And that's the only thing that you should believe in. At the first 1.5 kilometer, the sceneries was more like a tropical rainforest kind of setting. You will see a lot of rocks, a lot of swamp, a lot of noise. The tree is thick, filled with branches and leaves, and even there is a waterfall though there, where you could listen to the drizzling sound of the waterfall pouring on the rock. The tree was just like normal tree where you don't really see anything until you get up to the next 1.5 kilometer. About 3 kilometers above the trail, you start to see a change of diversity. The trees are getting shorter and shorter, and now you are moving into an alpine altitude where the trees are no longer tall and no longer thick because of the limitation oxygen level, but the trees are so different. The trees are like small little plant that you basically see in front of your house, but these trees are hard as wood and hard as rock, and the temperature at this level is about 10 degrees Celsius, and you can start seeing me wearing out my windbreaker. Then the photo down there is just a photo of me and myself soaked in sweat. You can see how wet my head is. But what is more is the amazement when you look at all these things. This is the view of the Kundasang from 3 kilometers trail, and this is the destination that we are going to go up to, the peak of Mount KinaBalu. The reflection of the cloud, the reflection of the sunlight on the bedding plan of the mountain is just something that I can't explain in words. So what I have prepared yourself is a video instead. See, listen, and feel this.
What? No, here. Yeah, can.
Okay.
Eh,
Back.
oh.
That's the sound of the wind.
Wow.
You see this, the mountain
See that?
coming up, where the peak, where you have to go up. And there's one more, the last one. This is the view. If you can see, the cloud is hiding part of the mountain. And as the wind goes by, you could literally see the mountain coming up and hiding it off. Kind of like playing hide and seek with you to let you know that you are near, but that is just a cheat. You are never near. As you go up and go up, this mountain is just the same, as big as it is. But yeah, one step after another, and that's what we tell ourselves.
We need to check the sound.
All right. So after a 6 hours of climb, we basically reach up to the first milestone where we have reached the Panabalan rest house, used to be called La Barata, but they revised the hotel name as well as there's more activities over there. This is about 3,300 meters above sea level. And you could see me wearing up the winter jacket because it is extremely freezing. The wind over there is huge. As the wind blows to your cheek, you could really feel your cheek is dried up, and even my lips are getting dried up as well. So the temperature over here is about 4 degrees Celsius. And for those who wanted to go on hiking, especially Mount KinaBalu, don't ever try to think about taking a shower. The moment you touch the water coming up from the tap, it's just like ice water. I had headache straight away when I first washed my hand, and I gave up the idea of taking a shower totally because it is just so cold over there. And this is where the space you take dinner, you share the stories with your friends and other hikers about how you experience muscle cramp as well as all the soreness in your throat and everything. And this is basically the sunset view over there. You have a short rest period from about 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. where you have to wake up and start getting your supper and continue the final push to the top. The final push to the top starts 2 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, you're right, 2 a.m. in the morning. What is guided you with is not a straight light like you see in some of the trails, but what you have is just the headlamps in front of you. And what you could see is just a line of hikers with the headlamp in front of them. The last 1 kilometer to the lowest peak is more steeper, it's colder, about 3 degrees Celsius, and even harder. There is one video over here that I streamed, so how we have to pull the string to pull your body self up to the rocks. And the degree over here is about 10 to 15 degree in terms of steepness, and that is how difficult it is. But once you get through all this journey, you are there, up to the top of Malaysia at lowest peak. You will see literally the wind in front of you, and even there is a wind over here clouding all the peaks. And this is me with my friends and with my mom. We all made it up there. The view over here is just astonishing, which will makes you feel that all the journey you have been through, all the sweat, all the thoughts of giving up have just vanished. Let me just give you an example. One more is how you are climbing when you are at 3 a.m. What you see is just the spot of the headlamp towards, and you can't even see where you're directing to. All your guide is just a white string over there guiding you that you are going the right direction. But once you are up there, this is the wind, this is the cloud, and this is the view. Ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to share with you is that all this journey to Mount KinaBalu, what I have in my thought is just one step after another. One step after another. I have muscle cramp in the middle. I stop, I rest. There's momentum's time that I thought of giving up, but I never do that because there's always support from my friends, from a member that who goes out with me, who always tell us that one step after another, one step after another. It's just like how you have goals in your life. It may sound very distant, but what you have to think is that every journey of 1,000 miles start with a single step. And for that, I hope everyone will be having an urge to go on Mount KinaBalu with me. I'm fine to go with you as well because I love the scene so much. And for that, I would like to now to open up a Q&A session for those who have the urge to go up, or maybe you are kind of like, maybe let me think about it. You can ask me anything and I will try my best to address you. So maybe some of the question they may ask, what if you want to go to toilet in between, right? That's what my dad asked me. To be honest, there is rest stop. There is like 7 rest stop before you reach to the Panabalan. You can always use the bathroom at the rest at the rest station, and there is always place for you to refill water. But to be honest, the water over there is not that clean. But so I would recommend actually you go up with about 1.5 liter of water by yourself, and later on stay hydrated and stay motivated at all time.
I have a question.
Yep.
You are so young and thought you are also quite sporty. And then some more it's so challenging to you. Then your mom was with you, right? How was your mom? How could your mom get up there with you. Did she have the kind of problem that you had, or worse, or she did better than you or not?
All right, that's a very good question. To be honest, I'm one of the youngest one within the group. There's 11 of us. Three of us are about 20 to 25 years old. But the rest, hear me right, they are all over 50s. Then out of 11 members that we have, 9 of us made up to the top. And my mom is quite a sporty person. She enjoys diving, hiking, or even doing more sport than I do. So she's more okay than I am. But one thing that you have to prepare yourself is about the altitude problem. Because some of us may have problem in altitude where you start to have to experience breathing difficulties. What I would suggest is when you ever come to this situation, slow your pace down and then pace yourself, take in more breath per step. Eventually you will be fine. But before you go for this kind of Mount Kinabalu, please also build up your stamina a little bit by climbing doing some treadmills runs, or even some stamina exercise will do. Even Toastmaster badminton, just go for it. 2 hours straight every single weekend, you will be fine after 3 months to go up Mount Kinabalu. No worries about that. Thank you for the questions. Anyone else?
I have question, Hanlun.
Yeah, Boris.
Yeah, like you are the skinny and young people. Like, how about you see like fat people or the unhealthy people, how they go? I mean, my question is more specifically is it any limitation or restricted, like certain people cannot go for the hiking?
All right, that's a good question. In terms of body sizing, to be honest, it's not the issue because there are more people that is more wider to get up as well together with me. But what is important is that if you haven't had the experience of breathing difficulties where your lung capacity is destroyed or not that good, you might have to have the second thought whether you can make up to the top. But there is always people that actually went up to the Panalaban rest station, and that's fine for them. That's their milestone. They don't want to go up even higher. For those who are in a mid of going up to the lowest peak, but you feel that you are uncomfortable and you want to go down, there's always be tour guide that will always accompany you back to the rest station. So rest free. Don't worry about it. As long as you did your stamina exercise, you have built up your mental strength is the first thing that you should put in your mind. Physical second, but for those who are having babies, yeah, it's not that recommended. But for those in terms of body size, it should be fine.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I have another question. How much?
Yep. All right. So in terms of costing, there is 2 ways that you could go up to Mount Kinabalu. The first way is that you book through the agency. For me, myself, and my mom, we want to save the hassle of booking the hotel, transportations, Sabah Park permit, all these things. Even you have to hire your own tour guide. So we book through the agency. The cost is about 1,100 per person. But if you want to do it yourself, the entry price for the Sabah Park is about 110 per person, including your certifications. But what you have to add on extra is to find a tour guide that will be about 350 per day, as well as you have to find your own transport from your hotel to Kundasang, as well as from Kundasang to the Sabah Park. And that will eventually make up to about 300 to 400. But eventually, if you want to save the hassle, you can always go through the agency.
Not too bad, 1,001.
Yep. I see Anas has a question. Is all right? Come on.
Is this your first time hiking session, or you have been through another mountain before? And my next question is, how do you prepare your physical and mentals before the hiking start?
All right, thank you very much. So there's 2 questions over there. The first question, is this my first mountain? I would say this is not my first mountain, but it is the first mountain that go beyond 2,000 meters in terms of height in altitude. And yes, this is my first one. Other mountain that I have been through is maybe just a mountain, not even mountain, it's just a small hill at Cheras, a small hill in Penang Hill, as well as Bukit Tambun back in my hometown in Bukit Petajam. But this is the first mountain that I have go up beyond 3,000 meters in terms of altitude. And I believe that is my first one. Definitely not my last one. Maybe someday I will end up in Mount Everest, perhaps. And the second question is that what you should prepare mentally and physically is, in terms of mentally, you would always believe, you have to believe that you can get it up there. And that's the first thing. your mental power is stronger than your physical strength. In most of the time, your mental is the one that sustains the physical strength. For me, myself, I am lucky that I didn't have a very serious muscle cramp. I did not suffer from a very severe knee injury. And what I feel throughout the journey is I feel tired, I feel dehydrated, and I always want to give up. What comes in here is you always have to remember you can make it up there, and you have come up so far, you should not just turn back and go down anymore. And what's matter most is that if you have friends that go with you, for me myself, me and my mom are always backing up each other. Whenever she feel that she have to take a rest, we take a rest. But I will be the one that drive her. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. When at the last 1 kilometer to the lowest peak, even me myself, I have taken 5 breaths per step, and that's the time that I feel very suffocating, that I can't even breathe. I have to sit down by the rockside together with my mom. But my mom, she is not doing as well as what we have been experienced before this altitude. But she is there to stay to me. Let's just move on. One step after another. We take 10 steps, we take 20 breaths, we take a break. Eventually, even I have to drag you up there, I will drag you up there. And that is how we support each other. And that is something that I will have to say that your mentor is the key for you to get up there, regardless of how tired you feel and how tired your physical body is. So for my advice, go with your friends, go with someone that would always back you up, so you have a partner to always give mental support to each other whenever you need it. All right, since I have maybe another 10 seconds, I can take the last question if anyone would like to ask the last question.
Yes, Hanlun.
Yeah,
Uh,
Andrew.
Yep. So, do you walk like a duck after your mountain climbing? So I see people after when they come back and when they climb up the stairs, they have to like hold the staircase handle ring. Yeah,
No,
thank you.
yeah, Andrew, I didn't walk like a duck. I walked like a 80 years old guy with 2 stick. Actually, after I came back, so one of my member have a walking stick. I land 2 walking stick. So instead of I walking on my feet, I'm walking on my hand. So yeah, I take 1 day to recover to a walkable condition, but still you could feel the soreness as well as the tiredness of the muscle, especially at the thigh as well as the hamstring. But for that, through more exercise, through more physical conditioning, you will actually eventually get better. Massage oil is something that is so good, and I would truly appreciate if you bring some massage oil or some muscle pain or something, right? That is the best thing invention in the world during that time. So I guess that
Yeah.
will be all. So if you have more questions after this, you can always directly to ask me in WhatsApp or whatsoever. And for that, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy my sharing of Mount Kinabalu height, and I hope one day you will be there as well. If you need me to go with you, I'm always open for that option, and I will always like to go back if you wanted to. That's all from me. Thank you very much.